Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. The truth about cost of living videos. You know, I appreciate cost of living videos because they try their best to give you a general idea of what your expenses are going to be per month in these different locales. But what I don't like about them, the truth is, they're crap. They're inaccurate, and they don't go far enough in explaining what you're eventually going to end up spending. So what I did an experiment when we went to Manila. We were there from November the 28th, 2025 to December the 14th, 2025 is when we got back here to St. Carlos City. I kept every receipt. And anybody knows that tracking your spending is very difficult. But all these receipts is everything from water, Booby's milk, medicine for Maryland, eating out at the restaurants, groceries, you name it. I called it miscellaneous. And then we had our Airbnb fees, we had our Grab fees, we had our to-go ferry fees, which were for 3 round trip. I did all of that and then come to find out I didn't include tips because I didn't track my tips. I didn't track the money that I gave away to people on the street in need. I didn't track taxis because they don't give you receipts. And I didn't track my bus fare because when you take the light ferry from San Carlos City to Toledo City, then you have to catch a bus from Toledo City to Cebu, which I didn't count that. And I didn't even count the light ferry that we take from here to Toledo City. I understand, guys, what you're trying to do, but they don't even really give you a general idea of what you're going to have to spend. I spent money on things in Manila that I don't have to spend money on in St. Carlos City. And see, they don't explain that to you in these places. Well, whether it's Bangkok, Da Nang, Manila, all they do is have that basic rent, utilities, and food, basically, is what they have. They just don't go far enough. So for those 2 weeks, because all I really wanted to do was share with my viewers how much money I spent on Grab, transportation, which altogether was like $69 and some odd cent for Grab. Just transportation for those 2 weeks. But then I said, well, why don't I just do everything? So it ended up for my Airbnb, my Grab, and my to-go ferry round trip from Cebu to Manila and Manila to Cebu was $858.92. My miscellaneous right here, this is everything. Milk, water, everything. Groceries, soap, whatever, $743.10. And then, of course, the DNA kits was $750. It was $575 for me and Maryland's, and then $175 for Boobies. All total, it was $2,352.02 that I spent over that, what was that? 15-day period. Because I don't count the 14th because that was travel. Although I did catch a taxi from Cebu City to Toledo City, which cost me 2,500 pesos. None of that was included. I fell short. As hard as I tried, I still fell short, guys. But that's a lot of money for just a 15-day period in Manila. So some people, they always ask you, well, Cal, how much am I going to need when I come over here? Well, it's hard to say, but I know if you go to Manila, one of these big cities, you're going to pay for Grab and taxis, and you're going to be eating out a lot. You're going to have an Airbnb or hotel fee, things that I wouldn't spend here. But I thought I'd do this video because it was interesting. I knew I spent a lot of money, so probably all in all, I'm pretty sure I spent about $2,600 for those 15 days, which is a lot of money over here in the Philippines for just a 15 days. If you go ahead and run that out to the end of the month, you're talking about 5,200. And you got to remember, that was my second time going to Manila to handle this this CRBA process. You know, because we initially went there, I believe that was back in August of 2025 for the actual interview. And we were only there for like a week. And of course, we were turned down. So we had to go back for the DNA. So all in all, I'm pretty sure I spent about, I'm going to say about $4,000 just trying to take care of that CRBA process, which normally, if you got all your ducks in a row, ladies and gentlemen, it's only going to cost you about $200. Okay, because I already paid that. I didn't add that on. I already paid that. That's the reason why we were scrambling to get back to Manila, so that that wouldn't expire, and then we'd have to go through the process all over again, getting turned down all over again, waiting to take the DNA all over again. So yeah, I spent over 4,000. Now, for most people, you know, a cost of living can be simple. You can just start. You're going to start with a certain amount of money, and then at the end of the month, whatever you got left over, you just subtract that for what you started with. Or at the end of the month, if you go over, then whatever you went over, you add that to what you started with. But for me, it was different. And for most of us, it's not that simple, because you're going to be using cash. You're going to be using credit cards. You're going to be using savings. You're not starting with a set amount. You understand what I'm saying? But anybody's ever tried to track their spending, it's very, very, very hard to do. It's very difficult to do. This is why I tell you that these cost of living videos, they don't go far enough, man. It's just content, really. And you know, I understand what people are trying to do, but it's really not helping you anything. In any way, you're going to have to come over here. Rent, yeah. They can tell you exactly how much rent and utilities and all that. Food, not even food, because you're going to miss out on stuff, guys. Okay? But that's really the truth about the cost of living videos, because I watched like 5 of them before I made this video. And I was like, they just don't go far enough. Okay, somebody's cost of living in Dumaguete is going to be totally different than somebody's cost of living in Manila or Bangkok. If they would just add on the things that they forgot. We forget a whole lot of stuff. You don't know how much money you're giving out in the street. Your tips, your taxis, and little things like that. So people would get confused. They was like, oh, okay, I only need $1,500 to live comfortably in Cebu. Well, maybe you need $2,000. Over 30 days, you're gonna forget $300 or $400 that you're spending. So if in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find in your heart to help somebody. Now the day goes by, I don't help somebody. Yeah, guy, I help somebody every single day. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. You know, let me say this before I get off here. This concerns the pro-life traveler situation. I don't condone what he did. I don't know what he did. I saw the actual press conference that they did the other day, and it troubled me. I'll tell you why it troubled me. It's because, you know, you've got the head of the Bureau of Immigration, he's behind the pulpit, and all the power that he carries with him. The pro-life travelers behind him in handcuffs with the 2 guards, and then the whole press in front of them. And they show the video of him like 2 or 3 times, you know, saying, hey, those tricycle drivers, they look like a monkey to him, and they making the monkey sounds. And I thought to myself, surely there's got to be more charges than that. I mean, no one deserves to be called a monkey and be treated in that manner. But there has to be more charges than that, guys. It's very scary to somebody like me who speaks their mind. I'm 62 years old to be put in a similar situation like that. But because you're in a whole different country, they don't have to tell us what he did and the charges and all of that stuff. Okay? But it's just scary to me. It's got me thinking, guys, seriously. Do I even want to continue to vlog, man? You know, is it even worth it? Is the $2,500 I'm earning over here every month, is it worth being thrown into the Filipino jail for so many months and then deported and blacklisted and leave my family with nothing? You know, because people are so happy about that situation, guys. You know what I'm thinking? This could easily be any of us. But it has a lot to do with culture, and I'm going to talk about that on my next live stream, how we gloss over cultural differences when we say that, and what it really means to live in a country with a totally different culture. The way they eat, the way they breathe, the way they do things, when they do things, the law, everything is so different from where you're coming from. It could be a problem, but it was troubling to me. Not taking up for him. I don't know what he did. If he did something, he needs to be punished, but we're talking about vloggers here, guys. Wake up. It's what pisses me off. We're not contract killers. We're not drug dealers. Okay? And for people over here like me who love to vlog, your thoughts and intentions can be misinterpreted. And the next thing you know, they're going to drag you out in front of that press conference like that. That's a presumption of guilt. And your whole life is ruined over a few allegations, man. If he'd have did that in the United States, would he have lost his job? Absolutely. But we're not in the United States. He would have simply lost his job. It would have never made the TV. Guys, this shit is serious. You Kens out there and Karens out there, y'all ought to be ashamed, man. It's mostly Americans. We don't have each other's back over here, man. Just throw you under the bus in a minute for some clicks and views and trying to get brownie points with the locals. But guess what? The locals don't give a fuck about you.
Boots on the ground. Don't do nothing stupid. Give that man his flowers. A tribute through music. If I don't know nothing, I know one